Get ready to be swept off your feet. Welcome to the Lover List, where Reddit's most romantic love stories come to life. Hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe and turn on notifications if you're ready for a love ride. Is she a bridezilla for saying Favours ruined this classy wedding? Is she a bridezilla? I'll let you decide. When my brother met his wife, they got engaged within months. It was difficult from the start, but during her wedding, she felt a bit demanding. People tried to help, but often felt more like a servant, and at the end, made to feel like you didn't do enough and so didn't care. She let us make favors. She ordered some mason jars and said it's up to you want to fill them up with, but remember this is a classy wedding, we don't want anything tacky. Throughout this time, the theme of classy not tacky was constant. No family dances, I understood that one TBF, no one was allowed to do speeches, the DJ playlist was set, no requests, etc. Comments about how things were tacky. Back to Favours, my older SIL and mum wanted chocolates in them. I wasn't 100% into it, but everyone else we asked loved the idea. The bride and groom also approved. I made labels, I had to keep getting every revision approved by my brother. We sat down and thought which chocolates we wanted, and how to decorate them. Now I did have some reservations about some chocolate choices, example, foil football covered ones. However, my mum chose them as a representation of my brother. She picked chocolates based on their likes and interests. Personally, it felt thoughtful. New SIL saw the chocolates a week before the wedding. New SIL messaging older SIL saying she is not sure about them. Older SIL said she also wasn't sure but wanted to see once they're together. New SIL would speak to our mom. An evening-long argument where my mom walked out saying you do them then. I wasn't there. We messaged to let us know what she would like to change, but my SIL apparently said my mom and brother should sort it out. The days before came. We heard nothing. Many things outside of this have happened. Things were tense as we put the Favours together. And to my surprise, I actually really liked them. I thought they looked cute and rustic. So proud we sent a pic to family WhatsApp. Oh boy, new SIL exploded. I thought we weren't doing those anymore. Surprise to me. I said they looked tacky, I bought all these jars, and you turned them into a joke. None of you helped in this wedding, you are making my wedding a joke/tacky. My words sound watered down because it's been 3 years. I kept asking what would you like us to change and we can try. But it was like a personal insult. She just went on and on and on like we've done it to humiliate her. Insults about our family and how didn't care about my brother. She hung up on me. We used the jars, we didn't know what to change and it was in 2 days, everyone loved them. The wedding venue was grand but I personally wouldn't say classy, at times a bit tacky. She spent the next year traumatized about how no one gave her the wedding she wanted. It was a $74K wedding FYI. 3+ years on, my brother continues to defend her behavior and now one of us speak to him. I'm getting married now. You know what I've learned from that experience? No one gives an F about wedding favors. Verdict? Edit. Thanks for the comments. I think the majority agree that they are just favors, and even if we missed the mark, that the response wasn't justified. Since the wedding things have been very distressing for many reasons with my SIL, this became a constant theme. Being able to offload this one thing, even though so much more happened at the wedding, has been very therapeutic. Thank you. Oh yes, the old I'm not going to tell you what I want, but will raise holy heck if you don't give me what I want. I do not understand people who expect others to read their minds. Apparently she shouldn't have had to tell me. This became a constant theme over the years. No one should give you the wedding you wanted. You plan and execute it and pay people fairly to carry out what you'd like done and treat them in a respectful and professional manner. Mason jars are not exactly the height of sophistication. What a weird thing for the bride to be hung up on. She sounds like a peach. Yep, NGL as we were working through ideas it was a struggle to think. What would look good in mason jars? Moonshine. I'm sure your SIL would have really thought that would be tacky, but you drink enough of it, and no one would care what SIL thought after that. Okay, in all seriousness, though. Jams and preserves have been a hit, honeys, hot cocoa mixes, and teas. Now, for funsies, you could have different cocktail mixers, or add-ins like vodka-infused Jolly Ranchers or gummy bears. Just be sure to reserve the sugar-free gummies for SIL's jar. I gave everyone an old-fashioned looking key that was actually a bottle opener. To this day, my friends and I still have them on our keys as they look cool and are practical, and I'm not even married to that anymore. The jar of honey is a lovely idea. My cousin did that in a little pouch of seeds of wildflowers that attract bees, which I thought was a nice touch. My family and Biel's family are massive tea drinkers, so my sister made a selection of different flavored teas as her favors and left them in a basket by the exit so people could just grab one on their way out if they wanted. My other sister had shortbread biscuits that doubled as place names. Favors don't need to be anything fancy. Most people forget to take them home at the end of the evening anyway. You know what? If we hadn't already picked ours, I may have been tempted to do that. She lost the option for classy when she bought mason jars. Note, that's not me picking on mason jars because I love them, but nothing about them says classy. On the other hand, I would have loved a jar of chocolates. To me, they say mothball home while cleaning the tank, since the lid for that one doesn't fit quite right anyway. It's technically my adult kid's mothball. Okay, technically it's algae. What someone sees as tacky another sees as luxurious, classy, or whatever else. So she didn't like her own idea, and didn't have the imagination to see how she wanted it fixed. Shouldn't have taken it out on everyone. We usually see little clear baggies tied with ribbon, personalized name cookies, etc. I've never called them tacky or judged anyone. I was happy to have something to nibble on, or drink, tea bags, a honey stirrer, hot chocolate, etc. later. LOL, out to humiliate her. That's such a weird reaction. People being scandalized by a small treat at a place setting. Unless it was candy penises or toddler treats or something super off in the adult wedding setting, people just are happy to have a snack. Exactly. What's classy to one isn't to another. It was hard not to remind her of that during that conversation. But yes, it was a weird reaction. But hot chocolate sounds amazing. I wish I thought of it for my wedding. I might just get one for myself. OMG, it was the best. It was cute, too. I think I got salted caramel, and my guest got a vanilla blend. They had these homemade, complementary flavor to the flavor of the mix, marshmallow cubes, an ice cube-sized one, and a cookie that paired well. They kept in mind everyone's tastes and matched a flavor to your place/seat. And the flavors offered were tied somehow to the couple's story. I can't remember how. Kind of like signature cocktails. There was hot milk, hot water at the venue for the end of the night if you wanted to enjoy them there, with to-go cups with lids for the ride home, or a walk around the venue. It was so great. Fall wedding, it really was just the nicest touch, and one of my favorite wedding favors I've gotten. Sorry, but SIL was not only a Bridezilla but an AH to boot. I hate using the term Bridezilla because I think that it gets overused. But she bought the jars and tells you to fill them. Doesn't give you any details on how to fill them. Just say to keep it classy and not tacky. Personally, I see nothing wrong with chocolate. In fact, if I was there, I would be the guest who would collect the favors that was left behind. I don't either. Going through this myself, I realized that there is a lot of ridiculous pressure on being a bride. When all of this happened, I told myself it was bad timing. That for some people they have expectations after waiting for their wedding for long, and when it's not perfect, they go a bit neurotic. But now I realize she wasn't a Bridezilla, she was just a plain old Zilla. This is her, and now she's out of my life, and I actually didn't even get a favor. Everyone wanted chocolates. They were gone. I didn't have favors. No one cares, and most get left behind unless it's edible/drinkable, but only on the day. There's no point in giving them something to carry around. Most women take bags that are tiny and can't carry much, plus is already full with their own stuff, and men aren't generally interested. And who goes dancing carrying a flower pot, jar of honey, or whatever else is there? No one. Favors are pointless and a waste of money in a wedding. Yes, this. We still have loads of the favors from my brother's wedding from 10 years ago. We had an autumn wedding and gave everyone a Japanese maple sapling. Any that were left over we donated to be planted as the organization saw fit. I still love the idea that there are trees planted out there that have lived as long as our marriage. You are absolutely correct. No one cares about wedding favors anymore. It's become a very dated tradition. I didn't provide them at my wedding because every single wedding I've ever been to where favors were given, once people start to leave and the venue clears out, the wedding favors are left behind in large numbers. Some people can never be satisfied, and it sounds like she is that kind of person. I'm sorry about your brother. I hope that someday the rift that his wife has caused between your family and him can be repaired. The only good wedding favors are edible: chocolate, popcorn, tea, etc. And it shouldn't be expensive either. TBH, if what I've seen on wedding websites is accurate, favors as a traditional part of a wedding is quickly going out of style. For my wedding in 2016, we had small jars of a local honey as favors, but nothing more elaborate than that. Both me and my husband are big Japan fans, so we hot special omamori good luck charms for luck and love, and some heart-shaped candies for our favorite brand. I'm always down for edible favors, especially if the reception food isn't the best, lol. Whatever you do, just please don't give me something with your name on it. I love my family and friends, but I don't need your names and wedding date plastered on things at my house. Save it for your own. That stuff goes straight to the bin. SIL sounds lovely. I adore it when people want me to read their mind about what they might like for their special event. No unreasonable pressure there at all. I'll happily sit and stuff envelopes for you or make up table centerpieces or favors, whatever you need. But I'm an extra set of hands, not a decision maker for your event. I bought brass compasses, which admittedly aren't very practical, but could be used as a paperweight. Bought them in Asia for about $1.50 each. What a deal! Those actually sound cute AF. I'm not going to spend money on that. But if love it. We did little boxes with loose leaf tea and ground coffee in, biscuits and filters to make the drinks. All personalized to the person, only 30 guests so able to do, as to their tea/coffee/biscuit preference. Kids had a little activity box instead with sweets and puzzles and a coloring/activity book, UK ETA. They were all taken and loved. Bridesmaid even asked if we had any spare. My wedding favors were the invitations themselves. I got married on the beach and I had found these cute little bottles to put the invitations in along with real, but tiny seashells. 20 years later, they are still keepsakes. My SIL got so jealous that when she got married she told me that now everyone was going to remember her wedding instead of mine. Funny thing is that my husband's in the military and was in a deployment training exercise, and I was literally moving to a different state so neither of us could attend her wedding. SIL to this day won't allow us to see her wedding photos. Oh, and we were the last to be invited 45 days before and 2 days after going into escrow. Just to fly to the location, semi-destination wedding, would cost $2,000 just for me, high season. Father had just started chemotherapy treatments and had to miss 2 because of her wedding. It's unfortunate how people use wedding as an expression of their internalized narcissism. Yes, it's actually a bit traumatizing. Everything that happened afterward. I actually am in therapy trying to undo the hit to my self-esteem this woman had. We wed in 21 after the pandemic. My mom had passed and my fiancé had almost died. For our favors we had miniature Yankee candles, to represent the light our love put in each other's hearts, an old-fashioned style key which is also a bottle opener, love is the key to your heart, and little personalized love heart sweets with our names and date or our wedding in the wrappers as if finally met my sweetheart, I'm 50 LOL. They were put together in little organza bags with a label that said the keg to happiness is life, and the ability to open a bottle. They were so well received by our guests. A big thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Relationship Stories that will leave you inspired. If these tales touched your heart, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode filled with stories that will leave you in awe.